Do I think I have ADD or ADHD? Yes. Probably one or the other, maybe both. I don't know, but I definitely do. I am squirrel energy to the max. Like, oh, I need to get this email out. Oh, I wonder how my beta fish is doing. I'm a new beta mom. I'm a beta fish mom. So I'm in love with this fish. See, that was an example right there. I'm here to talk to you about ADD, ADHD, and then I give you an example of the beta fish, and then I could have gone off about my beta fish, literally just gone on a tangent. Bring it in. So what I want to talk to you about today is something I learned from Gabor Mate. If you don't know who he is, he's a brilliant doctor, and he really deals with addiction, but he's done this talk on ADD and ADHD and some research. I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. But entrepreneurs such as myself, I created everything I have, I created myself. And so it's me. Like, I have a team, I have my assistant, I have a project manager, I have two assistants. They work together, and I have a project manager, and because I couldn't do everything by myself, no freaking way. But it is a freaking miracle that I get anything done during the day. But if I had a regular job where I go 9 to 5, I don't know if it would be really, really hard for me. I was good at waiting tables because that is ADD, ADHD energy. It requires some organizations, but you're on the move. I also taught preschool. Hello, they're all over the map, so I could match that energy. But many much entrepreneurs are figuring out or finding out that they have ADD or ADHD. We have the energy for it. We can multitask. We can do a lot of things at one time. However, it is very frustrating at times. And it can be frustrating for my husband or people that are around me, because I can appear scattered when in reality, sometimes I can be scattered, but what it really is I have different things going on all the time in my universe. Plus, I have a very deep connection to the spirit world. So while I'm talking to you, I can connect with my spirits guides in my yard. It's very, very nuanced for me in my internal space. Now, let's get to the fun part around what Gabor Mate said. It just landed so hard. So I always thought about ADD or ADHD like this. This was my understanding of it, the way I saw it or see it. He added another layer to it, that what it's ADD or ADHD is, according to myself, is that there's something going on internally, and my old teacher used to talk about this too, internally, that does not allow someone to fully rest in themselves. It's a learned response to always moving away from the self. So ADD energy, you're cycling away from the self, right? You're cycling like this, or you're hyper and can't stay still. You're not fully in the self when you are in an active ADD space. So you cycle out because it's challenging to feel yourself fully. It's kind of like a form of addiction. People use drugs and alcohol because they don't want to feel themselves. They're medicating. It's hard to be in their own skin. And ADD and ADHD, the way I looked at it, and my teacher looked at it too, is very that's the way we looked at it. Okay, so let's talk about what Gabor Mate is saying, and that is one step further from this. And he's saying, because we are fight or flight, I'm not going to add fawn, but we're fight, flight, or fawn animals. Let's just stick straight up with fight or flight. Because we are fight or flight animals, we have that instinct in us. Now, when we were Neanderthals, is that a word? Is that PC? No, I'm sorry, I don't know. Cavemen, whatever. We were being chased by animals, and we would literally flight. Or if you were being attacked, right, physically, you would fight. Now, in our modern day world, and I'm going to read you something that he wrote. In our modern day world, we don't have lions chasing us. We don't have that, but we still have the fight or flight instinct. Now, if you grew up in a home where it was abusive or traumatic, or you had a mother like Gabor Mate did, who was depressed and anxious, you're in a traumatic state some of the time in childhood, but you can't fight and you can't flight. You're stuck in your home, usually, right? As a kid, there's nowhere to go. And if you fight back, sometimes it would just cause more problems. I was a fighter, it did not help, So what ends up happening is you create the fight or flight response anyway, and you start disassociating from the self because your environment is so challenging. You've got to create a way, according to Gabor Mate, to get out of yourself. You've got to create a way to flight, right? Move out. So what do? We create the ADD, ADHD response. Now, he didn't say this, but I'd be curious. We went back hundreds of years. People, I doubt we'd be seeing this. People were cycling energy in a very, very different way. And now they are drugging kids with Ritalin and whatever else, Fred, that was when I was a kid, was the Ritalin and other things. And like, just manage their behavior, right? Give them some pills, manage their behavior. They're annoying, they're super hyper, but we got to understand what's really, really going on. So I know I came from trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. I know that is exactly what I did. I loved to check out when I was a kid. I was really good at it. I created a relationship with the spirit world while I was doing it, but they called me like the space cadet. You're so spacey. You're so spacey. Always telling me I'm spacey. I had teachers telling me I was spacey, and they made me feel bad and they made me feel wrong. But in fact, I was dealing with like massive trauma, and it was very hard for me to be in my body. Very challenging for me to be like, okay, I'm present. Let's go. No, I was a mess. And so what Gabor Mate is saying makes so much sense to me and like I said, he didn't have trauma, but he had a mom that was checked out, depressed and anxious. And so what he did is he dissociated, and his turned into ADD, ADHD. And then we have a bunch of kids right now who are dealing with stuff. And now instead of helping them understand what's going on and helping them ground, they give them pills. Let me, as I wrap up this video, let me read you I'm so excited about this. What he said. Ooh, I'm getting a hot flash. I was like, oh, the perimenopause. The hot flashes went away for a while, but they're back. Okay, he says, Dr. Mate explains that ADD, ADHD is not a genetic brain disorder, but rather an adaptive response to childhood trauma or stress, particularly when a child feels powerless or unable to escape stressful situations. Boom. Boom. When a child feels powerless or unable to escape stressful situations, ADD or ADHD is formed. And he's also saying this, and I knew this too. It's not genetic. It's not a disease. It is not a disease, and it is not genetic. It is formed and it is created. And a lot of it, what's going on in our society, and we could probably talk in another video, that the screens and the scrolling and the social media ain't helping. It ain't helping at all to have the kids like this, having these 30-second dopamine interactions. Oh, and I'll read one more thing and then I'll end this video. So that was a boom, mic drop. Then he said the tendency to tune out. Right here, I do it all. I used to do it all the time. Oh my God, I love to do it because it was so hard being present in my environment. The tendency to tune out is a hallmark of ADD and ADHD as an early adaptation to overwhelming stress that later manifests as a problem. And then it talks about this. The video touches on the idea, this is what I talked about at the beginning, that these traits are often seen in entrepreneurs, can be strengths if managed properly, rather than simply being viewed as disorders. So that's where I have been in myself. I know I have ADD and I know I have ADHD, you probably have both. And I used to beat myself up for it. And now I'm like, I'm a bad ass. How do I take that the way I have cycled it, learned to cycle energy from a very young child? How do I take that and turn it in to power? How do I take that and turn it into a successful business? How do I take that and turn it into helping more people? That's where I am right now. And if you struggle with ADD or ADHD, or it is something that you are dealing with, and I have a lot of clients, a lot that say they feel this way, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And let's work with that energy of being able to cycle it back so that it works for you. It's literally like Gabor Mate say, and I just love this so much. It just lands in every bit of my body. That Gabor Mate saying that it was a stress response from feeling trapped or powerless when you were growing up. That's it. And so because of that, it's not a disorder that needs to stay, or be a disease that needs to stay with you for the rest of your life. You can use it toward your advantage. It means you're freaking creative and you learn how to survive in a stressful situation. That's it. I'm just like blown away. Anyway, I really hope this video supports you. And maybe I feel like I'm going to be brewing something around this, creating something around this, because I love it. Got to research it more with what he says, but I really hope this landed for you. And my name is Beth Osmer, and I will see you on the next video.